Hello and welcome to DY's first impressions and banner review for June Legend 2024. I hope you guys all had a great Dark Guild War and achieved all the goals that you wanted and farmed all the Celestials and whatever else you needed to do. So with this banner, summer kicks off in earnest with two new characters we have from the Heart of the Sun event. We got Raziel, Summer Raziel, and Summer Tefnut. And both characters, spoiler alert, are looking pretty decent. So let's talk about them. We'll start off with Tefnut first today. So Tefnut is a water charge attack supporter who functions very similarly to Yukata Silver. She possesses a very similar third skill, which makes it so that she can't normal attack and provides double strike effect to the ally in the next position along with some echoes. She also shares the same passive where she has no charge bar gain on normal attacks, but gains instant CA if she didn't attack, which is mainly activated through her third skill. So with this, she's able to provide a lot of damage through her unworldly damage on her charge attack, and then also provide this double strike effect to the ally in the next spot. She also possesses this nice utility skill here, which borrows this unique debuff that is featured in her raid, along with some nice defensive things like the spell cancel and the dodge all. The mirror image these days is less useful as bosses are sort of finding out ways to counteract it, but the other debuffs here are quite nice. And finally, her passive here is a nice passive buff to the other water allies in the team. It doesn't affect herself, but pretty much whenever she doesn't take damage, so through her dodge mechanics on her second skill here, dodge all, and her third skill here gives a sharp boost to dodge rate. Whenever that happens, water allies will get triple attack, and it will boost their cap and supplement their damage as well. And whenever this happens, it raises her unique buff Sarab level by 1, and through this, it will also provide her other water allies extra buffs as well. So overall, Tefnut is looking to be very, very similar to Yukata Silver. She possesses pretty much an identical kit. The only real difference here is that Tefnut is looking to provide a bit more debuffs, whereas Silver provided a little bit more charge attack support with her skill too. It's looking like the best partner to target with this third skill is at the moment Pela, as she benefits greatly from those double strike effects since she gets Assassin on the second strike. So at the moment, those two look to be a really strong pair. I'm sure there'll be many more as people start testing it out, but that's the main one that I can foresee at the moment. We're very likely to see Tefnut in full auto and maybe some hard raids. Yukata Silver on release did see some use in hard raids, and since Water's HL team is very charge attack focused at the moment, perhaps Tefnut could fit there. Outside of that, obviously she has no normal attack burst usage, and as a result, probably not too much use in short normal attack burst rotations like an NM95 or anything like that, but maybe for OTK with her unworldly charge attack damage, you'll see her used there. Alright, let's talk about Raziel next. Alright, so our favorite bookworm character, Raziel, is here, and she brings quite a lot in her kit. So let's break it down. Easy stuff out of the way first. This final passive here, subject to all specialty weapon related weapon skills. All this means, if you're unfamiliar, is that any weapon skills that specify a weapon type, basically she benefits from all of them. So it's things like celestial weapons, for example, right? So boost to specs for staff specialty allies. So weapon skills like this, no matter what weapon it is, Raziel benefits from those. And then her other two passives here are really important to how the character functions. So there's a lot of text here, but to break it down, it's very, very simple. Basically, she has two unique buffs. She has one that's tied to red skills, red bordered skills. So any skill that has an icon like this with a red border. And the other one is any skill that has a yellow border like this. Basically, what these two passives do is that they count how many red and how many yellow skills you have amongst your front line. So only the main party, not sub-allies. So let's just go into a trial battle here. So as you can see here, this team has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yellow skills. So therefore her yellow buff is at 9 stacks. And then conversely, this red one here, we have 4 buffs because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 red skills amongst the front line. These stacks each individually give bonus effects to Raziel. The red one gives her extra attack, and the yellow one gives her extra multi-attack. Both buffs cap out at 10, at which point they give an additional effect. The red one gives her bonus earth damage, so 20% echo, and then the yellow stacks once at 10 gives her 3-hit flurry. Her first 2 skills also benefit from being at 10 stacks. Rubrum here will auto-activate upon normal attacks when you're at 10 stacks. And then the yellow one here, Book of Sunlight, will give you 100,000 supplemental if used when your book level, the yellow book level, is at level 10. So both very potent effects. So the final part of both these passives here is that every 3 skills that you use, so every 3 red or every 3 yellow skill that you use, she will gain 1 additional stack. So the bulk of her book stacks will come from the initial party state, but during the battle, you will be able to build it up to get to that maximum 10. So in longer fights, Raziel will be looking to be really strong as all these skills will have additional effects. But even in shorter ones, you are able to manipulate your party so that you can start with, for example, 10 yellow stacks, and then you are able to click this skill, a very strong skill for burst if you're especially able to use it at level 10 book stacks. And one thing I'd also like to point out here is that her first skill is a Dispel, removes 1 buff. Earth currently has a lack of really good dispelling characters. So Raziel, who looks to be really strong, having access to a Dispel is really, really, really good. All right, and finally, we have to talk about this third skill. So this third skill is like her ultimate skill. Essentially, it gives an extremely powerful effect, but you can only use it once your red book stack and your yellow book stacks are at 10. They must both be at 10. And what it provides is a tag team-like effect. So think tag team on Luchador, Percival S3, or Yukata and Nilla's S3 as well. Now, Tag Team and Percy you can use on turn 1, but Raziel, obviously, you can't use it on turn 1 unless you're clicking a lot of buttons through things like Hidden as well. So it will take some time to build this up. So generally, you won't see this effect until a few turns into the battle at least, since it requires those 10 book stacks. But it's definitely worth it because it provides you with 30% perpetuity attack, it provides 100% triple attack, and then it also gives 1-time echo and 1-time flurry. Obviously, it would have been better if these lasted the entire turn, but it's still a really, really good effect. So we're very likely to see this skill be a core part of NM200 burst teams, where you are able to build up those book stacks and then use this skill on your big burst turn towards the end of the fight. Overall, Raziel's looking to be a really, really strong character. I'm 100% expecting her to see use in full auto and manual setups in Guild War. She will definitely be part of NM90 and 95 burst, and most likely in higher bursts as well. I've already made some 90 and 95 teams myself. She provides so much. Basically, her first skill here has really good utility with these debuffs and the Dispel. Her second skill provides a lot of buffs that you just are really high value. This Echo, as far as I can tell from my initial tests, is unique, so it stacks with pretty much everything else in the game. And then her third skill, we talked about it a lot, but it's a really powerful burst tool. It's a little bit of a shame that you can't click a turn 1 like Percy, but once again, I think she already has so much else in her kit that this is fine, that it takes a little bit of building up to get to. Overall, really, really solid character, and one that you probably want if you're a Dirt main or you're looking to go really, really hard in Dirt Guild War. Alright, but Raziel doesn't stop there because we do actually need to talk about her weapon. It's rare that we get to talk about a non-grand weapon here, but Raziel's weapon we definitely need to talk about. So, Raziel's weapon, it's a gun, which means that it instantly has some key classes that can use it, namely Relic Buster for Blitz Raid shenanigans, and secondly, at the moment, the big one is Soldier. So if you guys don't know how Soldier works, Soldier uses this unique system, the bullet system, and essentially these are items that you have to farm, and it is quite a lengthy process to build up these bullets. But for Soldier, those bullets are core in how the class functions. They're not consumable once you craft them once, they don't disappear. But yeah, it does take a while to farm them. And this gun here, like Water's Hraesvelgr, possesses 6 rifle slots. Rifle slots are the best type of bullets in Granblue. Check out the Soldier page if you want to know more about these bullet effects. But basically within the rifle category, there are the strongest bullets. We have namely the Chaos Legion, so the Bubs bullet, which has a chance to inflict bore. We have the Belial bullet, which just has really, really high raw attack. And finally, we also have Expert Model Genesis Nova, which is Super Ultimate Bahamut bullet, which just has the highest damage and the highest damage cap amongst all rifle bullets and all bullets in general. So because of that, Raziel's gun is extremely, extremely strong for Soldier. These rifle slots alone are enough to carry it, but that's not it for this weapon. This weapon also gives 3-turn echo on charge attack, so you can set that up for your burst turn. It provides attack, this is nice. It provides normal attack cap, which you definitely want. And then the third skill here, it provides flurry, but only on the second and the third hit. So it's like a scaling effect. On the first attack of your triple attack, it's a normal hit. On the second one, it's a 2-hit flurry. And then on the third one, it's a 3-hit flurry. Now, obviously, this weapon is nowhere near as good as Hraesvelgr. I think that makes sense because Hraesvelgr costs 150 gold moons to get. But it possessing 6 rifle slots and already having really, really good skills makes it very, very, very powerful. Now, if you get this weapon, I personally don't recommend barring it immediately, at least until summer ends, because we will have freebies, free draws during summer. And since Raziel will be on the banner until the end of August, you have a chance at pulling another one of these weapons. And this is not a weapon that you use as a grid piece. So for that reason, hold off on barring it for now. But if you haven't farmed bullets yet and you're a dirt main, well, good luck, because I've been through it and it takes a lot. So best of luck there. All right, so that's all the new characters. Let's talk about the other rate ups on the banner. So we have Eugen and we have Leona. Unfortunately, both characters and weapons here are not really utilized in modern Titan grids. Check out the Advanced Grids Titan page where you'll be able to see more information on what gacha weapons are used for Earth at the moment, but both weapons here aren't really used. The characters are also, unfortunately, not meta these days. Leona is an attacking type and she has buffs that are only for herself, and pretty much these days that just isn't really good enough for most dirt teams. We have characters like, for example, Permanent Olivia, who is available on the surprise ticket at the moment, who has really, really strong effects and is a much better attacker than Leona, but she also provides a buff to other party members as well. So Leona, she's not like a bad character, but she's just a little bit outdated. Eugen, with his FLB, can be a solid attacker if you're missing some characters or if you're quite new to the game, but outside of that, all he does is really charge attack and do some skill nukes during those first couple turns while he has his ignition effect. But other than that, he doesn't really have too much use in the end game once you get better characters. So both characters and both weapons are unfortunately not that great. So I would not be sparking this banner for these two. And then one final thing to note about this particular Legend Gala is that Catura is available as the other Zodiac. Catura, ever since her FLB was released, has been a really, really useful character to have. She's been used in a lot of different applications. She's used in Grand Order, Go HL gold bar farming teams. She's been used in Wind high-level raids, so Far Zero, Hexachromatic Hierarch, things like that. She's used in solos for hard raids. She's useful in full auto. And then finally, she's also used off element for some charge attack bursts. There were some NM90 teams in Light Guild War, for example, that used her, and we will likely see some teams in Earth Guild War as well, upcoming in September. So, Catura, very useful character to have, and unlikely to come back until next year. So that is something to note about this banner as well. So, should you spark this banner. What you need to know is that we have 3 more summer banners after this, with new summer characters and new summer summons. We have July Flash, we have July Legend, and we have August Flash. Now, all this information I'm about to give from this point on is speculative based on last year. Last year, any summer character that was introduced was no longer sparkable outside of the banner. So for example, Raziel and Tefnut have been introduced on this banner. However, they were not sparkable again for the rest of summer. So if you really want Tefnut or Raziel, this banner is the only way to guarantee getting them. They will, however, remain in the banner until the end of August 31st, 11:59 AM Japan Standard Time. So in future sparks, you will have the chance to get them, but no way to guarantee them. July Flash will introduce new characters and maybe a new summon. July Legend will do the same. August Flash will also do the same, but August Flash is special. Last year, what happened was that any summer character that was introduced in March was also available to spark in August Flash. So this year, those characters will be Horus, Magus, Delphi, and Elmot. So if we follow last year, those characters will also be available to spark alongside the new summer characters introduced on that August Flash banner. After August Flash, we have August Legend, and that is just a regular banner. We don't know what's on it. It could be a grand, it could just be regular permanent characters, we don't know. But the last new summer characters will be introduced on August Flash. During summer, we tend to get a lot of freebies, and compared to a season like Roulette, we get less overall pulls. However, last year's main benefit of summer was that we got these summer premium tickets. And essentially, these tickets you could use on any banner that you wanted. So it was less rolls overall, but it was more targeted rolls. So you could discount your spark by a big amount, since you could save up those tickets and use it on August Flash, for example. So even though it's less rolls than Roulette, it's more discounted sparks. So it's very nice for that. So this banner, currently we don't have any of that. So you will get a bigger discount in a future banner. Another important thing to note about summer is that summer characters have boosted raid up percentages compared to regular Gala banners. So if we take a look at the numbers over here, you can see that Leona, for example, who's the grand here, has 0.3% raid up. This is like the normal value that you normally get. However, if we scroll down to Tefnut, she has 0.5, and Raziel is exactly the same. So sparking on this banner will give you a slightly better than average chance to get Tefnut and Raziel compared to a normal Gala banner. So to summarize, if you are sparking this banner, it is mainly because you want Raziel or Tefnut. A secondary consideration here is Catura. If you really want Catura before next year, this is probably one of the last chances to get her, and it's on a decent banner at that. Alright, I think that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys are sparking, I wish you the best of luck, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye bye.